What's up, and welcome to Party Invite, where we invite you to a gaming community of inclusiveness and diversity. Your party members today are Thomas Egan,
That's my name.
Carlos Gomez,
Hey.
Debbie Hill,
That's me.
and I'm your party leader, Chris Mowry. Our companion on this episode is Community Marketing Specialist at Twitch and Community Manager at Twitch KC Midwest, Ray Apollo.
Hello. It's me. Oh, got air horn now. I like it.
He didn't break out the app.
Yeah, I did bring up the app.
Well, we gotta avoid that DMCA because that's app sanctioned. So
Yeah,
Before we get into what we've been playing, let the people know a little bit about yourself, Ray.
I mean, there's not much to it. I'm a man that loves video games, having a good time, and anime. So, I like to translate all of that into everything that I do online, including into my content. And I just want to make sure other people are having a good time. I understand that they can have a good time regardless of an audience or not. So, yeah, that's me.
That's Ray.
I'm also very loud. Sorry.
It's totally fine.
it's okay. I'm the same way.
It all evens out. We'll get to know some more about streaming during our party topic, but first let's get into what we've been playing. Carlos, you have quite the list of things here that you have been playing.
What a nerd.
Thanks. Yeah, it's Age of Calamity has been the thing because I love my Switch, and Age of Calamity is just that really good downtime kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you really don't have to think too much, but it's got some really cool missions that set it apart from some of the other Hyrule Warriors type games. Actually, I started playing Iconfell. If anybody doesn't know what that is, it's on Game Pass. I think it just popped up on Game Pass like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's like a little wizardy version of Undertale.
Oh.
It's a very low res, very indie RPG. It's very cute, and it has a weird battle style. Like you'd have to see it for the description to set in.
I think that I've heard people describe that as it's similar to Mega Man Battle Network. Is that what that was called?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
you're kind of right. It's got a little bit of a grid-based system as far as you move a couple spaces and you have a very minimally ranged attacks. It's a pretty cool little thing. It's just a super indie. It's like one of those games that makes you feel good because you're supporting the little guy. That's pretty much the only reason I went back to it.
And that
sounds like something that I would love to play because I really like that kind of battle system. Like One Step from Eden, I think is what it's called.
Yes.
And then also Mega Man Battle Network, which we need another sequel to. I mean, please.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I have all of them, and I need more new ones.
More.
Just,
Yeah.
High res,
Basically, you just sold me on that when you said Battle Network. So.
And it's funny because it tries to do comedic things during the battles. Even I just finished a fight where this protector, like actually you can kind of think of it as the Dragon Ball Super between Beerus and Whis. It's kind of that relationship between these two characters, and the Whis character basically is healing the other character every time you hit them. And so you have to take that person out before you can attack the other person. It's really funny.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to getting some more time in it because I think it's like a 20-hour game, and I mean, just paying for Game Pass, I mean, that's a no-brainer. And then this weekend, it's all about Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, the re-release update that I cannot wait for.
What is this? I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, so it's basically the first Fire Emblem. So Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. We got a version of it on DS remade.
But is a very apt way of saying that.
Yeah. So this is the NES original, but localized, and it's updated with a couple things like the ability to rewind time. It's not as hardcore like you can still do the hardcore mode, but you can rewind a few turns if you need to, and it just looks like the most updated version of an NES game you can get. Very, very much an improvement in quality of life. So I'm down for that, and it's $6 freaking.
And that's on Switch?
Yeah, it's on Switch.
Interesting.
They also came out with like a collector's edition too that has like an art book and like soundtrack and things, I think, and
Yeah,
just a
you
whole bunch
can't
of
get it right now.
collector's items. Why not? Is
Okay.
it sold out or whatever?
Yeah, yeah. I've tried to find a way. I think the cheapest I saw it on eBay, I think, was $75, and that was a few days ago. So
Ooh,
yeah,
what's retail price?
retail is 50.
Oh, I guess that's not bad.
Yeah, but it comes with the fake NES cartridge, but it still comes with a digital code. It was never it's not on an actual cartridge in a case. So that's a downer, but it does look like a really cool collectible item. So yeah, that's me this week.
That sounds interesting. I saw a little bit about Inkenfell, and that's Ikenfell, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure because it's a interesting word that we knew what we were
It
what
is
we were
an
talking
interesting
about.
Yeah, it was published by Humble Games, so they're really trying to get it out there.
Humble Games is doing some really great stuff lately. A lot of titles too. They're really getting them out there. Ray, what have you been getting into?
I've actually been getting into a little bit more than I thought. Now that I work full time again, I have a lot more time, I guess, to play games outside of things, outside of just on the stream, which
Right.
is really nice. So I've been
That
playing
sounds like a
a
good
lot of.
problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. I love it. I'm just like, this is nice. I like this. So, playing Miles Morales Spider-Man. I think I'm about to finish that. Probably in one more play session, like another 2 hours, and that game's wrapped for me.
Yeah.
And man, I love that game.
Now,
So much.
are you a I have to get every little thing on the map kind of guy, or are you just get me through the story?
I like
And we're
to
good.
play the video game until I'm done playing the video game, whether if I finished it or not. Like
how
if
I-
I'm like,
that's
all
how I
right,
feel
I've had
about it.
enough of this game,
Yep.
I'm done. I've learned that I am not a completionist. That's why I go and watch the completionist. I love his content, so I don't have to finish the game. If I'm done playing a game, I'm just done, and I move on to the next thing.
Yep.
But no, this one I usually try and finish the story, just the main story, and be done with that. But I'll probably go do some of the like side collectible experiences, but I don't like to run around like just collecting stuff. It's not really my thing that I play video games for.
Yeah.
But the story's great. The music's fantastic. Just I like games that are fun to play, and this game's just fun to play. So
Yep.
I've been playing that. Been in a lot of Final Fantasy 14. I got sucked back into that. I finally now have a dedicated group to play it with, and so we're actually gonna play after we're done tonight.
Nice.
But no, I love that game so much. It's just fun playing with my friends. It's like I've always wanted an MMO that I really enjoyed, and I was like, what's kept me from not liking any of these other MMOs? And I'm like, none of them were anime enough, but Final Fantasy 14 fills that gap. So
The bunny girls, obviously.
all of them. Yep.
All of them.
I told them I'm starting a harem in Final Fantasy 14. So can't wait. So
I really want to get into that game, but like I just can't do like subscription models. I already have like bills and other
Yep.
things, and I'm like, I don't want another auto pay thing coming out of my account, And people
I
are like, well, why don't you
absolutely
just
feel
do the free trial till level whatever? It
Yeah.
comes with Heaven's Sword now. It's like,
which is a
It-
lot of
yeah.
content.
it is a lot
So-
of content, but I don't want to get like addicted to it and then have to stop. So
I feel that, but I feel like it's just enough for you. It's like you could play that and be like, oh, okay, I've played enough and be done.
Yeah.
but I have been looking for another MMO to get into, and people have been like singing the praises of Final Fantasy 14 for like the last 7?
I mean, yeah, since
Yeah.
it got good, yeah. But it's worth it. I really enjoy it because I've tried to play WoW so many times,
Oh, same.
and I was just like, I don't like this, and it's not that it's not because of the game. I just personally don't like it, and
Right.
so, but 14 it scratches that itch real good. So that's where I'm at with my MMO time. I have to pick certain games to fill those spots, and that one gets the MMO slot. It wins. So
Yep.
yeah, I like that. But also I've been playing Doom Eternal because that game still rips. I love that game.
I just
Man,
started playing that today because it came out on Game Pass today, and I just
Excellent.
dipped my toe in there.
It's just another
Man.
video game that's just fun to play.
Yeah.
Are you noticing a theme about these video games? Like it's so much fun. That game just works well. Like I love when you can tell when a developer literally took the time to put in, like they really cared about this game, and you can tell. There's so many just fun things, and it's easy. Like I won't say it's easy to play, but it's easy
I
to
would
learn.
not say that.
Yeah, I feel like it's easier to learn. You just have to get used to the loop. And
Yeah.
once you get used to the loop,
Yeah,
it's a wrap. So I like that a lot about that game, and like I said, the music keeps me going in that game because I'm like, okay, no, I can do
Oh,
this. Yeah.
Talk about it. Yeah.
That
Man,
first.
I need to.
Go
I
ahead.
need to be 16.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I go back into it, and I'm like, why did I ever stop playing this for
Right.
a second? It's one of the maybe the only shooter where I've been like, man, I might 100% this. Like, I might actually go look for everything
Yep.
because the level of detail to go find the collectibles hidden up in some fun area
Mhm.
is really rewarding to find. Any game that has a map that looks like Metroid, where you
Yes.
can 3D look at it and be like, okay, I can't tell if that's a cliff I can go up to, but I'm gonna go check it out.
Yep.
It really, it's full of these details that make me want to just squeeze the every last drop out of it.
And sometimes I'm like finding that stuff on accident because I'm just playing the game, and I love
Right.
when the games like do that for me. I don't have to like intentionally go out of my way. It's like, no, I'm just playing the game. It's like, oh, well, I wonder where this goes, and then I find secret stuff. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
this is great level design. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, please, more of that.
Yeah.
But, I'm hoping to have that finished before the end of the year too, because I'm also playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I surprisingly like Assassin's Creed more than I thought that I did because I got to thinking about it. I was like, I've actually played all of these games. And I was like, did I really play? I was like, yeah, no, I actually played all of these games, and I just there's something about Assassin's Creed that I can't really put my finger on. I just enjoy those games, and I think and to really think about it for a second, it's probably the history aspect of it that I really really enjoy.
Yeah.
Because like even if it's just like it's loosely based in some history, I like that stuff. I enjoy some history, and so it's like, yeah, no, I want to learn about this story and this time period that they put a lot of work into researching, because I mean they put a lot of time into researching these civilizations that they are recreating. So why not give it a look? And
Right.
most of the time, I feel like they do a pretty good job. So, and the Viking stuff is super interesting because it's more like this is more teetering on like a time that was lost in time. So like they existed in a time where everything else had moved on, which is
Right.
interesting to kind of see and interact with. So I don't know, I'm digging it. And like I said, I'm all about playing as characters that I feel like are badass, and they are badass in the game, not just in combat, which Eivor is that, which is awesome. So,
Have you been
you know,
have you been switching back and forth between the male and female, or how have you been playing?
I've just been playing as the woman. That's what it is for me. Because when I was when I got to play as Cassandra, I was like, oh, this is the main character, clearly.
Yep.
Then play as what's his face, and I'm like, yeah, no, you were like literally an afterthought. Why are you even here? But so I'm trying to figure out how, because they kind of like build it to where like both of these characters exist as like the same person in this game, and I don't know how that's going to work yet, but I'm sure as I keep playing they're going to explain that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's weird, but all right. So yeah, but I've been playing as a woman and it's great.
Technology.
Yeah. But I actually left the game off this list because I've been playing a lot of video games. Also playing Destiny 2 because why not?
New expansion. Yeah.
Okay. It's been a while. I haven't played it since Forsaken, and it's much better. It's very good.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna spend too much time on that because it's just I love the pew pews in that. It's great. And then Age of Calamity because I love Zelda. So
Yep.
I love more reasons to pick up my Switch. So and that's one of them.
So my question is, if you do not like Dynasty Warriors at all, like you just cannot, that game does not vibe with you, is
Right.
this still something you should pick up?
You like Zelda?
I do like Zelda.
If you answered yes to that question, then yes, you should play.
There you go.
I'm just saying, like I did not
He was
like.
asking for a friend.
Yeah, asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't like. I don't care for the Dynasty Warriors games, but this game is. It feels like the setting is perfect for the atmosphere of this game, of that story. It works. Like I get to run around with Link beating up hordes of enemies that you expected to see in the game, but it's like this is a different style of game, but it fits the style of the story. It just works. I like it.
Yeah,
I like
the
that it's a
missions
different
are
way
actually
to-
about it.
Say that again. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say the missions are actually about the story. That's never been a thing with the Warrior series. Fire Emblem had a very janky, hilarious excuse to play,
I did
but
not play it.
Age of Calamity actually, you completely feel like you're in the world of Hyrule. and the missions actually make sense. It is just bashing 1,000 people, but
I just like that it's a different way to like digest lore of the Zelda universe.
I love that.
You know, because they could have come out with like another dungeon crawling, open world explorer thing, but then they were like, you know what? We want a quick, easy way for people to absorb what happened before Breath of the Wild. What do we do? Oh, Hyrule Warriors sequel. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
I think that's something that series like Kingdom Hearts can learn from,
Mm.
because Kingdom Hearts has like a million different branching storylines, but they all feel like they play the same way.
Right.
Except for 3585 over 2 days for the DS or whatever. That one was actually really good. I love that game.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts.
Do you have the time?
Basically. Yeah, like, oh, Kingdom Hearts, man.
Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, Thomas, what have you been playing?
Not that game. Not at all that game.
I just thought it was a good segue.
I have, of course, been playing some Hades, but I still haven't beaten it. Love it, but I'll have more to talk about it later. I mean, you guys know how I feel about that game. Good.
It's great.
Fantastic game.
The Last of Us 2, I'm still moseying my way through that. I'm only playing it when my girlfriend and I are both available to enjoy it, which is a lot harder than I thought it would be during stay-at-home year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of gotten down to a game that we really only play on weekends. So it's slow going, but man, that game is just wonderful. I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say maybe I'm like a sixth of the way through it. I mean,
Yeah, you're
I
not
feel
that far.
like I'm still very, very much at the beginning of the game. What I do want to talk about with that, though, is the difficulty settings. I got to this part that I described to you, Chris. I got the bow and arrow, and right before the encounter that happens in there, I turn to Lizzie and I go, I constantly am full on resources. Like, I'm pretty much always winning my fights. Like, I'm never really in danger. I'm going to bump the difficulty up from hard to suicide or whatever. Grounded, I'm sure.
From hard to mistake is what you did. Yeah.
And that's And so Lizzie's on the couch next to me, and she's watching me, and I told her I was going to do that, so I do it. I immediately died like 10 times in a row, just instantly. Like, there was no, I'll go about this differently. It was like almost like a quick time event encounter.
Yeah.
And I failed every time. So after about the 10th time I died, she looked at me and she was just like, "Can you not play like this, please?"
That's what you know is bad.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, let's dig around here. So I looked in there. I didn't realize that game has tons of accessibility settings. Like, every accessibility setting that you've ever seen in a game, this game has it. But I'd never really poked around with the difficulty before.
Yep.
So I took the screenshots on my PlayStation, but I forgot to upload them. So I'm going to try to give you the best information I can right now. So when you pull up difficulty, you can choose any of the, I think, 5 selections, like you can in a lot of games. And it tells you how hard that's going to be. But you also have subcategories where you can customize the difficulty. So I set everything to the max, but then I put stealth down a little bit because I was getting detected way too easily. So stealth is one of those things. Resources you can turn up and down. So I'm going to keep that up since I had resources pretty much all the time, because I love exploring those levels. I love digging around in cabinets and finding locked doors to explore.
Right.
And so there's resources, there's allies, which is how often your allies attack or get killing blows on enemies. There's enemies, which this I found really interesting. So it's accuracy of their gunfire, which is normal, how much they flank and use advanced tactics on you, the movement speed of some high threat enemies, it says. And then it says the complexity of enemy melee combos. And I was not expecting that, which is why that encounter that I had so much struggle with, it's completely a melee fight. So now that I understand that setting is that way, I expected, like in The Last of Us 2, you could dodge melees. In the first game, you couldn't, and
Right.
I love that addition. Well, it would attack me 3 times, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, I get this enemy now." After the 3rd time, I can finally swing like a Dark Souls game, and that was not correct. That was very much not right. Sometimes he'd swing 3 times. Sometimes he'd swing 4 times. Sometimes he'd like swing twice and then dodge and then immediately swing again, and there's no opening. But it meant that I constantly had to be like watching and not just memorizing.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. And the last one is player. It's basically how much damage you take. It's pretty standard. But I can't believe you can customize the difficulty. I absolutely love that.
That makes me. I love that more games are adopting that, because then you can literally tune the game to how you're more comfortable playing the game, and that's fantastic. I love that. Assassin's Creed Valhalla has a very similar thing, and it is very accessible. You can. I love the accessibility options, because I mean, not only does it give people more chances to play games that they normally wouldn't have, because they're worried about difficulty. Now it's just like, oh well, if I want this part of the game to be really difficult, but this part of the game to not be so difficult because I don't really care about that, you can do stuff like that now. That's amazing. I love that.
Right. So like,
please do.
In this game, for example, I could easily see people saying, "I hate stealth," like straight up hate it. My girlfriend likes Miles Morales because the stealth missions give you like the ways you can customize your suit and gadgets and all this stuff. Like she has a gadget that's like right before you're about to be detected, you just go invisible. And she loves that, because if she messes up, she gets, a gimme. She gets a try again without restarting, basically. So like if she was playing this, she would probably keep the stealth like probably all the way low, because she just doesn't have a good time with that stuff. And then resources, if somebody didn't like digging around and they just wanted to play actiony, you could be like, all right, maximize the resources, so whenever you do stop, you get tons of stuff, but you don't have to dig around the whole time.
I will say.
Did you blink? Here's some bullets.
I will say, in The Last of Us specifically, just on its like base difficulty, to me that game got a lot more fun when I stopped trying to stealth, and like once I got spotted, just deal with what comes and like figure it out, because it becomes much more intense. The combat becomes it just becomes like way more intense, even though that game is always intense, especially when the combat starts when your sneaking breaks down and you just fire a explosive arrow into somebody and their dog. That's when everything starts getting. That's when everything starts getting.
That was the most horrifying moment of 2020 in video games for me, where I shot an arrow that I thought was a regular arrow, and it was not. It was an explosive arrow into the dog, and it blew up. And I just hear this man go, "Bear, no!" And I'm like,
"Oh no!"
I was like, I had to set the controller down. I was like, "Oh no!" Yep. I have never felt like the bad guy more in a video game than that moment. I was like,
You're like, doggone it.
Womp womp. No, not like this.
Yep.
Just slide that clip in there for you.
He's fired. He's fired.
The Last of Us 2 was a very, very good game, but oh boy, did it make me feel bad.
Yeah.
It has that way.
I can't wait to see more, but unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to, because Cyberpunk comes out in a handful of days, and
7.
It's not like I'm going to beat The Last of Us tomorrow, so I don't know.
I mean, maybe you will. I mean, that game, I'll be honest, though, that game, there were multiple times I was like, oh, I'm getting close to the end, right? And then the game is like, psych! Nope! So it is a long game. That game was much longer than I thought.
You do need to start picking up the pace a little bit, Thomas.
Yeah, well, I'll do my best.
Especially since Cyberpunk's coming.
Yeah, since Cyberpunk's coming out, I really don't know what I'm going to do. But I'm definitely going to play some more of that game this weekend.
That's what you're going to do. You're going to stop playing that game and play Cyberpunk.
Yep.
Watch the Game Awards just spoil it all anyway.
It's going to get all spoiled.
Dude, yeah.
You're right. Oh, no!
So, here we go. I got work to do this weekend. Hopefully, by the time people are hearing this, I'll have beaten the game and achieved my goals.
Nice.
I believe in you.
Good luck.
Thanks,
I
guys.
believe in you too. You go.
So the other game I've been playing a lot is Spelunky 2. I've been playing that every Tuesday on stream, and I am loving it. It is the first time I've ever played a game only on stream. I've only played it one time offline, and I was drunk as hell, and I died a lot. It was great. But I'm really enjoying that game. We talked about. I briefly mentioned Spelunky 2 when we were doing the Game Award nominees. I was like, yeah, it deserves to be on this list, but I don't know if it serves to be the winner. Yeah, I'm still not sure it's number 1, but it might be 2 or 3 at this point. I mean, that game has so many secrets. Like the first game, the secrets are pretty straightforward. I mean, there's plenty to learn about it, like just discovering like, oh, this means blah blah blah, or when I see this thing, I should go left instead of right or something. But this game is just full of stuff that you have to discover yourself, including very hidden things that make fun noises when you discover them, all Zelda style.
Nice.
Gotta
love that.
Yeah,
like the pot of gold.
Like the pot of gold that I threw a bomb at, and in my last breath, the pot of gold hit me in the head and killed me.
That's great.
So, sometimes
Capitalism, everybody.
The price of greed.
That's literally it. Oh my god. Rip.
Yeah, so that's really fun. I tried a different secret path. I don't know. I don't. If you want to learn more about the game, just watch my stream because there's a lot to explain. But more or less, I discovered I discovered something insignificant that I was doing has a potentially big impact if I go on like the secret quest mission or whatever. There's a boss that I didn't think was killable, and I basically discovered, so it's a vampire, and I basically discovered that one of the guys that I could, like, he was a prisoner who I could save. I thought the only point of him was for him to give me money when I saved him. But I showed up to the boss, and straight up he's a Van Helsing character. He shoots the vampire with a crossbow bolt and kills him in one hit. And I straight up shot that vampire with a shotgun like 6 times, and he didn't die.
Capitalism.
So it.
Thought he was just supposed to give you money, but he saved your life.
Yep.
That's
The
Uh-huh.
true
That's
story
right.
of Thanksgiving.
So I'm really enjoying that game. I'm just constantly discovering things that I've never seen and rediscovering things that I thought I knew. Man, yeah, I'm going to be playing that game for a long time. I'm probably never going to beat it, ever. But I'm going to have a great time playing it.
There
That's
you
me
go.
and Hades.
That's all that matters. Yeah. Speaking of capitalism, Devi, what have you been playing?
What, just because I'm wearing a crown, I can't believe. You know what? Let me get my people on this. You know what? Hello, security. No.
Oh no!
Actually, I've been playing a lot of the same stuff. So I've been getting into Overwatch more recently, which is a lot of fun. I've been trying to get out of the placements of competitive, and that was, let me tell you what, that was a bad idea. Because I'm in Elo Hell, which for those who are not initiated means that your matchmaking is at a level below your skill level that you can't climb out of it because all of your other teammates are like so bad that they're hindering every effort that you're trying to do to progress the game forward.
Yep, that's why
And
I picked Overwatch.
exactly. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do arcade. La la la. Do I want to earn these like competitive spray badges? Why not? Oh, that's why not. Okay.
Oh,
got
right.
it. But it's been fun. Overwatch is one of those like secret, not like guilty pleasure games that I abandoned because I found other things to play. But it's just like when I get back into it, I remember how much fun I've had playing it, and then I'm like, why did I stop playing it? And it's because people get mad when they're playing. Like I'll be playing with my friends, and then they'll get all salty and want to stop playing, and then that affects me wanting to play because they get salty and want to stop playing, and I'm like, well, that's no fun.
Yeah,
So-
that's literally why I stopped playing Overwatch. Love the game, do not love playing with my friends when they're not having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
I
always
can't wait to
great.
see what they do with Overwatch 2 though, because Torbjorn gets flamethrower turrets.
I was going to ask about that. I was going to ask what everybody's thoughts were on that because it's basically the same game, little updates. I think there's a new game mode and things like that.
I forgot
Yeah.
that Overwatch 2 was a thing.
There's gonna be like a real life campaign.
I did too, to
think.
be honest.
I mean,
Um,
that's what, 6 months out?
I'm gonna say it's coming out next year. I would assume.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, I hope so.
Wow.
But the
That'll
real
be
big thing is
wild.
that's gonna be like there's gonna be like an actual campaign that you can.
I
play
would love
through.
that because the lore of Overwatch is all I've ever cared about, but they
It's
don't
super
give you
good.
any in the game.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's why I have all these concept art books and stuff over here.
So,
Like-
yeah, I will be playing that because I love the lore that they build up in their stories that they tell us when they give us characters and whatnot.
Short
so,
films,
yeah,
yeah.
that'll be great.
I don't know how they've
Yeah.
teased us this long, though, and
Right.
people are still playing.
I
Like,
mean, do you remember what they did with Sombra?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's how.
I mean, it is also a very horny game, so that's why people keep playing it too.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
for sure.
It is
Uh,
that.
I
What was that?
remember the days where there were articles saying that it wasn't that kind of game, and then it's like 3 days later. Oh,
It is
okay.
that kind of game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had somebody, a friend of mine, walk in when I was just on the title screen, and it's of course Diva, chilling in her skin tight like mech suit, and my friend was just like, "Wow, so this is this kind of game," and I'm like, "Man, I don't know how to take that, but I think you're right."
What does it
No,
say?
it is.
What does it say about me that I just use Junkrat and Roadhog?
I mean, that's okay.
I mean, yeah,
You're
exactly.
a different
Everyone
kind of
has their
man.
own type,
You,
you know.
everybody, I'm not gonna kink shame you. Not on your own show. No.
I mean, I'm with you on that Roadhog, you know,
Yeah.
so it's cool. It's whatever.
Uh,
give me some Torbjorn. It's cool.
That's over here.
uh,
But other than that, I've been
yeah.
playing some, of course, Ninjala. Oh my god, I cannot speak about Ninjala enough. It is so much fun. It is free on the Nintendo Switch. Please play it. If you like games like Final Fantasy Dissidia, Naruto, Toboruto Shinobi Strikers, I think the whole full name of it is, for the PS4, you'll like this game. If you like Splatoon, you'll like the game. It's not like ranged. It's melee focused mostly, so it's not like exactly like Splatoon, but it is colorful. It's gooey. It's got children beating each other up. So yeah, I mean, if you like Splatoon, go ahead and go. It's free. There's nothing you can lose except time, which we're all steadily running out of. Thanks, capitalism. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're having my clan and I are doing another tournament match this weekend, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
We are currently number 1 again
Hey.
in our division.
Hooray.
Our division. Our last season was not the best season. We were still trying to figure out some new rosters and everything, but now everything we're the Chiefs. We're on top, so we're
Well,
cool.
congrats.
Nice.
And I played Hades for the first time
Hey!
yesterday. Yeah, I've been putting it off because I was like, I know I'm gonna get sucked in. I know. Do I want
Speaking
to
of horny
sacrifice
games.
the time? Oh my God! You don't even. Poor child.
The horniest.
See, there's a reason the Greek pantheon is the horniest pantheon in all the religions ever. It's because have you seen the Greek pantheon? Like, have you seen them? Find a child. Which one of these Pepsi cans has actual Pepsi in it? Let me...
Okay, there's just, I need to finish reading it, but I started this Vice article yesterday. The headline is "How Hades Actors Made the Internet Horny for Their Voices," and I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
that's pretty true.
That's a good article.
Those people
Yeah.
also haven't played Overwatch, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but every time I hear, "Did somebody call for a doctor?" I'm like, "Oh, I did. Emergency."
I would love
It was
Emergency.
me.
Yep.
But I made it all the way to Theseus and Asterius, the bull, the Minotaur.
Oh man.
On my
Oh
first
wow!
run.
In
Yeah.
like one what?
Hmm.
The bull.
I've only ever
Everybody is
made it-
better than me at that
I've
game,
only,
dude.
no, same. I've only ever made it to the Bone Snake.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Oh, Lenny. Aw.
Yeah,
I died to the
and
Bone
I've
Snake
murdered,
a ton of
and
times.
I haven't gone back.
See,
But I love that game.
I do have a disclaimer. I was playing on Bowser's profile, and he has like a whole bunch of unlocks and everything. So there was a little help there.
Yeah.
I'll say that. For the uninitiated, Bowser's my boyfriend's nickname. So because he's a big ginger. Yeah.
There you go.
Princess. So,
The best kind.
but the best kind. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I can't wait to delve into it more. On my own profile, I do want to start from the beginning and work my way through the roguelike loop because I love roguelikes. I love it, which is why I love Spelunky too as well. So
It's worth it just for the way they drip feed not only the gameplay but the story and
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
characters. Like whenever you really talk to some of the gods for the first time, it is so it's fantastic.
I just love how
Yeah.
Hypnos always has something to say. He has something to say every time you die to something new, something old, something brown, something blue. It's crazy how much dialogue is in this game, and
Yeah.
I think they said they recorded something like 20,000 lines of dialogue, somewhere upwards of that.
Yeah. It's a lot.
I believe that. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that game was in early access for what, an entire year, or maybe even a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Really, I didn't know all that.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
launched
Yeah.
with Epic Games launcher. Like that was the first. I think one of the first things that was on there.
Yeah, it was.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
I
they
learned
gave it away
something
for
today.
free, and I was dumb and didn't download it, but I paid for it because it's worth it.
It is worth it.
Yes.
Right.
L'Oreal, it is worth it.
Uh-huh.
But that's it. That's basically it. Oh, and Godfall, but the QTE explained all of Godfall for you. So
Yeah.
go check that out. Haha, shameless plug.
nailed it.
That is a very pretty game.
YouTube.com/ it is so pretty.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna play it, but that is a gorgeous game to watch, and it did have several. I know you made the same comparison to God of War. Just a lot of like little things here and there. I was like, oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, if you like God of War, if you like Warframe, if you like Destiny, then you'll probably like Godfall.
If you like loot, I mean, come on.
And so
all
far
of
the
it.
story's intriguing. It's being portrayed in a very digestible manner, so I'm having fun with it.
That's good.
Nice.
As far as me, a game that I didn't put in the doc, I've been playing some NBA 2K, but that is not the game I want because I have a PlayStation 4. I want the one for PlayStation 5. That's the one I want.
Well,
So
NBA 2K is not a game anyway; it's a lifestyle.
it is
honey.
a lifestyle.
So,
So
Fair enough.
uh,
Ball is life.
it was a little depressing to be playing that and being like, this isn't what I want. I want the good one.
their sweat's not shiny enough. This is subpar.
Right, exactly.
The sweat doesn't glisten enough for me.
Right, exactly. And then today I was able to get into a little bit of Doom Eternal. I am not good at that game so far, but I haven't died. But it has been I'm just like, I'm not doing this quick enough. Like, I need to be like, from what I see people play this, they're flying around, like taking out 10 people at once. I'm like, that's not me so far. I did just beat the first level and got back to the your sweet ass spaceship, but I have some work to do in there. I got to get good, but it's very pretty. All the blood and gore looks very nice.
Oh yes,
And
fun
then
for the family.
it's a real cuddly family
Something
game.
for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
This blood is rated E.
Speaking of family games, I did a review for Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time on our website. You can go check that out at partyinvite.games. That game is good. I didn't think I was going to like it very much because those games are really hard, but I'm on board with it a lot. And I talk about it in my review, but they do a great thing of where instead of like counting down your lives like the old games used to do, and then you would game over and have to start all over, they just keep a death counter in the right-hand corner so you just keep respawning at the checkpoints. If you die too many times, they'll put like a little shield around you. One of those masks that I can't remember the name of will be there. So
Aku Aku.
yes, exactly.
Hope to go.
Yes. So those will pop. Like if you die too many times in a row, they put one on you. It's like, I'm not dying because I'm getting hit. I'm dying because I can't make this jump. So it doesn't matter that I have the shield.
Fair. Fair.
But they do try to help you out and make it a little bit easier so that you can actually finish the game and like get through it. So I'm enjoying
You're
that.
selling me on this. You're selling me on this. I hadn't even considered it.
It's good,
So-
and there's a lot there. There is so much in there. There is, you get like these like reverse versions of the game where basically you just play the game in the whole level in reverse after you beat
Okay,
the original
Castlevania,
one.
I see you.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a bunch of different characters that give you like different options that once you unlock them, then like in older worlds, it'll pop up and be like, hey, now you can play this character's version of that level and see how it interacted with Crash. Because it's messing with
cool.
time and dimensions, and so time is a flat circle. So everything's kind of living back together. But it's really good. I'm kind of surprised. I don't have a Switch, so I don't get to play Mario Odyssey and things like that. So as far as 3D platformers or platformers in general, I don't get a ton of them. I played like Celeste and like Rayman Legends is what I compared it to in the review. It was probably the most fun I've had with a platformer. And that Celeste I feel is like a different kind of thing, but for like a mascot platformer, this is really good. And I think people should check it out if they haven't. And if it's on sale, definitely go for it because there's a lot of playability there. So
Well, if it makes
Said
Chris
you
have
sold
fun, I
me.
think I might have to buy it.
I'm looking forward now.
yeah, it's good. It's surprisingly good, I guess. Our party topic for this episode is about streaming, and we figured we'd ask Ray some questions about streaming from all of us and members of our community, and hopefully we cover some stuff in here that will help people that stream or are just getting into streaming. Carlos, you have a couple questions for Ray here?
Yeah. All right, Ray. So, your job titles say a good bit of what you do, but what would you say is your personal priority in what you do for the gaming community?
Ooh wee, that's a fantastic question,
Really good one.
actually. So what I feel like I do is I am not only a bridge, but semi an educator. Like if people have questions about streaming or about content creation at all, I'm more than willing and always able to try and answer those questions to the best of my ability, because there's no real right way to do this. I'm sure, as we've all figured out, and there are so many people doing it, and so many people who think that they don't have what it takes to do it, but are already doing it. That half the battle is the battle with yourself at that point, and that you have to understand that you are good enough. I mean, yeah, you're not going to be the best, but you're going to try and be the very best, and that's your prerogative. You have to put that forward, because nobody else can really measure it other than you. So, yeah, I feel like to answer that question, really, I feel like I'm an educator, and I really like that.
It's a good answer for a
Love
good
that
question.
answer.
Devi, you have
Uh,
one?
Yeah. So, I am a streamer as well, and it's very dominated by like certain like denominations. And
Mhm.
so my question to you is, being a person of color, in a space that's dominated by not as such, like how do you feel it's best to approach, like especially if you're starting out and people are
Mhm.
like apprehensive about that kind of identity, like where does your identity fall in the streaming aspect of it all? Like, what would you say is the best part of being like a POC content creator, and what could you try to bring to the field, um, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
to the fray that, like as a person of color.
I also love that question,
It's
because
always a
this
great
is
question. My
it's
questions suck.
no, they don't. But I also love this question, because it's difficult, but now becoming more prevalent, to be a content creator that is also a person of color or black. It's something like I started doing this because I wanted to be the face. Like, I wanted to see more of me in the space when I didn't, and I was like, I can do that, and I want to make it easier for somebody who looks like me, who is just starting, to be like, oh yeah, see, there are other people that look like me that do this. And what I would like to tell other folks that look like us is that, be yourself. There's no reason for you to not be yourself, and there are plenty of other people who want to get to know you, regardless of what you look like. But there are also people who want to get to know you because of what you look like, because you look like them, because you make them feel comfortable, and that's okay. Like, that is completely fine. That's not taking anything away from anybody or hurting anybody. Everybody wants to be represented. Representation is important. It matters. You know. Um, so it's not easy, because there are people who uh, are malicious just for the sake of being malicious, just because of the way you look. You are absolutely going to run into that, and I hate that you're going to have to deal with that. And I know that I would like to think that all of these platforms are building better tools to help prevent and keep that from happening to you. I mean, they're not done yet, as you can see on all these platforms. That's still a very prevalent problem, but
Yeah.
Mixer.
oof. But don't let that scare you away from doing what you love. Don't. I mean, there's so much more joy to be had than people who want to try and take that away from you. And as long as you're not trying to take joy away from other people, I feel like you're going to do fine. Go into it knowing that, no, this is who you are. That's you. And if somebody doesn't like that, to hell with them.
Exactly.
And so, like I said, I know it's not easy, and I will never say that it's easy, because I deal with my fair share of random ignorance all the time, just because of what I look like. And I don't tell you all the time, I will always be kind to folks, until you're not kind to me. That's just the way it is for me.
That's
That's
the
how I
water
was
sign
raised.
way, honestly.
Uh,
Like,
and so, as long as you want to have a good time, and you like the stuff that I like, I have no problem with you. So just assume that, like, don't think because I'm black, I'm going to not like something or not like you literally just because I'm black. No, bro, that's not how this works.
that's not how any of this works. And yet we
Exactly.
are
Right.
here. We are here,
Exactly.
y'all.
We are out here, and I want more black people in the space. And this is not me saying I want less white people in the space. That's not what I'm saying at all. No.
Are you sure? Stop it. I just want some clarification for the
See,
people in
but
the back. What are you saying?
that's the real thing that really annoys me, when people say they want to see more black people. Well, there's a small group of people that are like, oh, well, that just means that they want less white people. No, there's so much space for all of us. There's so much room for all of us to be in this space together. I don't know why people feel like that's not a thing. Like, What do you like? Just because one group of people is coming up to like be represented better means that something's being taken away from another group. No, no, hello, no.
No, wrong way.
There's room for all of us, and like I just once I feel like people understand that you're not losing anything by others gaining opportunities, and life will be so much easier for y'all.
Yeah. Are there any platforms that you can think of that people might want to check out if they are people of color that you would want to like, kind of signal boost right now, given the opportunity? Like for one,
So-
I know the Black Girl Gamers
Yes.
video group. Jan Lopez, the founder, was actually nominated for a video game award.
Yep.
And she already got my vote. Like hello. And they play everything, like
Yeah.
literally everything. You can follow them on Twitch, twitch.tv/Black Girl
something
Gamers,
for
and
everybody.
there's literally something for everybody
Mhm,
there. And I
mhm.
love that like not only Black people but Black women have like that particular platform because they're like a minority of a minority. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
So for people that have like that specific kind of not like a niche platform, but like a platform that specifically caters to that as well is really cool.
I
So I
completely
want to shout them out, and I want to shout out TK Breezy's Light Skin Lounge, which despite the name welcomes everybody.
No, I love that. I love that name. Oh man, but so another group Spawn on Me,
Yep.
Khalif and Spawn on Me, they has to do a lot of great work. They put on a lot of really good talks for people to like listen to from somebody who is a POC, their perspective of the industry, and that's really important as well because it's all about. I feel like more people also need to hear and listen to more perspectives outside of their own to kind of understand what other people are going through, what they're looking for in this space, and I feel like that also more education period about each other makes this space better as well. And Spawn on Me does a great job of providing that. Also go listen to Gamer Tag Radio, like one of the best and probably for me one of the first game podcasts I ever listened to.
Right.
And it's Danny and Paris and all of them. Like just listen to other people that don't look like you. Not to, and it's not to make you feel bad. Just listen to other perspectives. You know, just it won't hurt you. You know, it really won't. I mean, unless it challenges you to think differently, which in that case, good. So
that's the kind of thing that you grow from.
Right on.
Yeah.
My girlfriend doesn't like. So my girlfriend plays a lot of Elder Scrolls Online, and she plays it like a single player game. She loves the quests. She loves the storyline. I like watching her play it. It's really fun, and I enjoy how much she enjoys that game. But I asked her, I'm like, why don't you never do any of the group stuff? You never talk to anybody ever. I mean, not on mics, not on keyboard, because she's on PS4, so it's the text isn't easy.
Right.
But her reason is always the same, whether it's that game or anything else, is that she has almost a crippling fear of speaking and then immediately having people negatively react to her because she's a woman. And I've seen that happen so many times in Overwatch that I'm never going to tell her not to feel that way, because that is a legitimate fear.
And I hate that so much. I can't stand that. Golly, because it's like, why are we attacking people for playing video games when they're literally doing the exact same thing that you enjoy to do? Why are you trying to make somebody else's time worse? Like, I don't get it. Like, we're here to have fun, and you want to be the asshole? Okay.
And it costs nothing to just keep your mouth shut.
Exactly. Nothing. So, I mean, maybe one day we'll get past that, but yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah, I will say I really like. I mean, it's we've got a long way to go, but every year the industry makes more positive progress towards making gaming accessible in all the ways. I mean, even from The Last of Us, that stuff has nothing to do with socializing with other people, but it's still a step forward, because the more that people value accessibility, the better overall experience everyone's going to have in the industry. And you want that to be a welcoming place, because there are fantastic social experiences to have, but there are also wonderful stories that games have to tell. And if people are too afraid to walk in the door because they think they're going to be treated a certain way, or they think that gaming isn't for them because the games that they play don't have characters that look like them,
gaming is for everyone. Exactly. Gaming is for everyone. Everyone. Not this group of people. No, gaming is for everybody. So, yes, that hurts my heart. Like, oh, there's the dogs.
There's so many women in the gaming industry that aren't visible because they're writers or they're behind the scenes. You know, they're producing things, or even as a voice actor, you may be hearing them and basically seeing them on the screen. But you know, if you pop on YouTube, the chances of seeing a white man is pretty high, like being the first person on there, and that's that's a
Very high.
generalization.
But that's because that's what the space has been dominated by for so long. That's just the case. I mean, and now it's there are more people of color who are coming into the space in both the content and the creation side, and I'm hopeful that changes. You know, I want to see a good mix. I want to see Black women. I want to see Asian women. I want to see more women in general in content creation like that, but also on the developer and publishing side. And I want to see that. I want to physically see that mix in spaces like YouTube and Twitch and all these other social platforms. Like I do.
And that's
why not?
Yeah, and that's something big for us here at Party Invite. Like we want to make sure that we're doing everything we possibly can to make sure that we're making sure voices are getting heard that normally don't.
So. Yeah, because I mean, even there are a lot of people doing wonderful things that like people love their work, but they have no idea who is making that a reality. So like something we're interested, like we're not reinventing the wheel. We just want to, get the people who are doing the good work more visible in a way that people can recognize and be like, oh wow, I had no idea this person does this and this and this and this. I went to a music festival a few years ago and I discovered an artist called Closey, and she's an electronic artist. I didn't know anything about her going into the festival except she was on the lineup. I checked out her music and I loved it. Well, I didn't know anything about her. I naturally assumed that, like most electronic musicians, she's just some dude from somewhere, right? Almost every single artist that I've ever paid any attention to in the past 2 decades in electronic music was a man. At least the front man was a front man.
Right.
Yep.
So when I went to the festival and I look on stage and this woman walks up and in a very French accent says, "Hi, my name is Closey and I'm from France." I'm just like, what? She doesn't have vocals in her music. So it was such a cool surprise to have like a picture in my head of what was just a complete assumption based on nothing but past experiences, nothing she did. And then to see like, oh, this person I love doesn't look any way like I imagined.
Right.
And I really appreciated that because there are more women every year. There are more women like they're really having success in the electronic music genre. And I love it.
That.
And yeah, I've just been thinking about that a lot as with gaming. Like there are people that are making things that you love. I mean, your favorite thing in a video game, you have no idea what that person looks like or you don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
And I want to change people's perception. Not like we're not changing the industry by telling people what's out there. We're just exposing what's already there. So
I love that. I really do.
Well said. Now for a question that's not as deep.
I mean, those are 2 really good questions. I really appreciate
Really, really amazing.
Yeah.
What do you wish you knew more about when you started streaming?
Ooh. Streamer health. That's a whole different thing. I'm trying to get myself to be on blurry. There we go.
There you go.
Taking care of yourself as a content creator, because what's something that you're told every time somebody's like, "How do you be successful?" Oh man, you gotta grind. You just gotta grind and work hard, put in the hours.
Yep.
I hate that. I hate that so much because that is basically telling you to neglect your health and kill yourself to do something that might not pay off.
Yeah.
It's also another way of saying like the bootstrap thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we all know how that goes.
I can't stand that. And it's just so that's one thing I wish I had known more about. It's like, no, you don't have to just be streaming every single day for 8 hours a day to, be successful, because there are people who've already done that aren't successful.
Right.
Yeah.
It's you have to come up with a plan that's specific to you, and you have to work smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying? In those aspects, because this is already such an oversaturated platform just in terms of what people are doing with it already. So why try and kill yourself to do something that other people have already done? What's the difference? I mean, yeah, you're a different person, but the same technique doesn't apply. So just taking better care of yourself as a person makes for better content. is what I learned.
That's a
So
good answer.
that's one thing
Yeah.
I wish I had known up front. Another thing is don't go into situations like looking to work with folks. Try and find people that you actually vibe with, and then go from there. There are so many people come into this like, oh yeah, I want to hang out with that person because we can, do X, Y, and Z. Try and make connections, not network connections, is what I like to call it now. Networking is a dangerous word. I mean, it's a very good word. It's good for you to network. You absolutely should. You should get to know other creators and work with other creators. But
Yeah.
vibe with people that vibe with you, because then you'll make better content yet again.
Right.
And that's what it's all
Build
about.
relationships, not connections.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
more, it's the quality of the content, not the quantity of the content. Absolutely, every single time. Those are two really big things that I wish I had learned up front. And I mean, I guess if we want to get more technical, the most important part of your stream is your sound.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Because, and this is like most statistics, this is made up. 9 times out of 10, people are just listening to you. You're background noise for them.
Yep.
And so the better they can understand and hear you and don't have to worry about, and everything's balanced well, the more likely they are to stay. So make sure that your sound is right first. Like, that's the first thing I tell people to focus on. Focus on your sound. Make sure your sound is good. I mean, they make USB mics that sound incredible now, that don't break the bank, and so I mean, it's just and another tip. Sorry, I just died because there's a lot of things I wish I'd known. You don't have to spend a ton of money to do this. You could do this with a laptop and a USB mic and be done. You really can, until you really start making money, or you have the income to, put into this hobby, because that's what it is. It's a hobby until it's not,
Right.
So, don't feel like you have to have the most expensive equipment to create content, because I'm sorry, if your content's garbage, money's not going to make it better.
Yeah.
It's not. And I learned that. I mean, I could ramble things off about that forever. So
That's the real Infinity Gauntlet back there. So
that's
you
the
paid
real
the
one.
price, obviously.
I mean, I had to take it, from his cold dead hand, but that's fine. Yeah.
Well, hey,
there
so
you
on
go.
these questions over here, you basically answered the question: how important is equipment versus experience?
I mean, just to dive into that a little bit more, it's like, once you have the experience on how to use the equipment, you can use any equipment to the best of its ability. To be honest with you, so I mean, the setup that I have currently, I have been kind of mostly rocking with for a year and a half, and it's because I took the time to get to know it. It's just that's what it takes sometimes. It's just time. But I feel like there are a lot of companies that prey on content creators now, because they're like, oh, here's this new shiny thing that you don't need to spend all that money on, but here it is, because they're like, oh, well, it's easy to use. Well, there's a lot of cheaper alternatives that are very easy to use. It's just that they don't have that big brand name attached to them. So I would be careful of that. It's like, yeah, it's fun to have the nice shiny thing, like we were talking about earlier, the really nice Elgato green screen. That thing's amazing.
Or like the Razer
Expensive.
Kiyo camera.
Exactly.
Like,
Amazing.
you don't need a ring like on my camera. It's
You don't
pretty.
need it. It's pretty, but I mean, it's also a nice to have. And if you want it, get it. But you don't need it, is what I would tell people every single time. Like, just determine what you want. And if this, if you want one of those crazy things, go for it. But know that there are alternatives. There really are. Like, I don't have the fancy key lights, but I have 2 wonderful, like, really nice ring lights that are great, that I spent probably less than $150 on both, because I waited for sales, and, just, this mic is a secondhand mic from a Guitar Center, and it sounds wonderful. My mixer didn't cost me more than $60, So
My lighting is literally just like a desk lamp with like a dried out disinfectant wipe as the diffuser over
See?
it. Like,
there are
Impressive.
ways to do this. We don't all have money to just like blow on this equipment. We don't. And like all this stuff I have worked for years. This didn't look like this when I first started. I had a Blue Yeti mic and a laptop. Literally, is how I started.
oh, I remember my Yeti.
And I take that back. I started on my PlayStation 4. I started
Oh, that's right.
streaming
Yeah.
literally from just my PlayStation 4 with my headset. And then one day I saved up enough. Well, actually, no, I put it on a credit card. I got a laptop, and So everybody can start and will start from somewhere. So
Yeah, I have only streamed for my PS4,
And
I
that's
was
perfectly fine. Yeah.
I was nervous about it at first, and then people were like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. Like, if you have a camera, cool. If not, don't sweat it too much.
Mhm,
Just make do with what you have."
mhm.
And it turned out I actually did have a, a PS4 camera, which it's proprietary, so I literally can only use it on my PS4.
That's it.
Now that I've
Yep.
got a PS5, that does me a lot of good.
Right.
Yeah. Although I'm surprised, I've seen more PS5 cameras just at the store than I ever saw the PlayStation 4 camera. I'm very surprised. I was like, that's interesting.
I wonder if
Especially-
that's because like the PS4, like the PlayStation Eye or whatever, had like
Mhm.
games that were also built for it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because it was PlayStation VR. You had to have it for that too.
Yep.
But I was just like, that's interesting. I didn't know that people, because I remember that was literally like the hardest thing to find for a long time with the PlayStation 4 was the camera. So, but yeah, I could walk to a GameStop tomorrow and be like, oh, I want that camera, and they'll be like, all right, here you go, and I'm like, that's weird. I'm not used to that. So,
Well, I am glad that you have a camera, Thomas, because look at that face. You want to
yeah,
deprive
look
the
at,
people of that
look
face?
at that
Look
face.
at that face.
Gorgeous.
Ah,
The orbit smile.
what a nice young man.
My stream a couple days ago, everything quit working on me.
The life of a streamer. Yes.
Man,
Mhm.
I think I might have finally fried one of my monitors. That I can't believe it lasted this long. I took it to all of our in-game like casual meetups, all of our fighting game events. I can't believe none of them have broken. But I think the HDMI slot itself is actually fried on this, so I could still use it on my computer, but I can't use the HDMI slot as it is now. Anyway, that went out right before I was going to go on stream, and
Oh.
but that's okay. I was able to make do, and I had something else that didn't work. Oh, my lighting for some reason, my PS4 camera was just
Mhm.
bonkers. My face looked like a sheet of paper.
Oh no. Yep.
So what it kind of worked out was I wore a Santa hat because I was
Oh,
cold.
that's why you were wearing that. Okay.
I have this Santa hat that's like it's like 6 feet long, or maybe it's like 4 foot long, but it's almost like a scarf. So I wore it that way.
That's
'Cause
amazing.
The Apex holiday event came out that day,
Nailed
so I
it.
wore that. But then I was like, well, my lighting's bad. What can I do here? So I turned off my overhead light. I aimed the light that I'm using right now down at my white desk,
Mhm.
and it looked like a fireplace lighting.
Oh,
And so I was like,
Nice.
you know what? This might be better than what I had planned.
that's see this, and that's don't ever be scared to get creative with your stream. Your stream does not have to look like Shrouds or Tim the Tat Beds. Like your stream can look like your stream. Like, yeah, you could take ideas from those folks, but mold them into your stuff. Your what you're comfortable with. Like I keep telling people all the time, there's no one right way to do this. There isn't. So that's awesome. I love that.
Who else has got a question?
You touched on this a little bit earlier. So you talked about making relationships versus basically make friendships instead of working relationships.
Mhm.
So we talked a little before the show about the difference between hosting someone and raiding someone. I
Mhm.
remember people told me a lot. Devi jumped me a bunch because I kept saying I would raid, and I never did, or I messed it up because I thought hosting and raiding were the same thing.
Hmm.
But as far as like building a relationship, right? I
Mhm.
love raiding now because now I know enough other streamers like Nerdmeat, who's also very active in
Good old nerd meat.
Twitch
Yeah.
Gaming. I can actually raid his channel and just hang out, and I'm excited when I'll bring him a new follower.
Mhm.
It feels good, and so I barely break 10 viewers on my very best stream.
Mhm. Which is
so
great,
let's
by
say
the way.
Oh, I'm happy with it actually.
Yeah.
If you think of having like, so usually I have like 6 people. If I
Mhm.
had 6 people in the same room with me watching, it's amazing. I
That's
love
the
it.
perspective that I need people to keep. If you have 10 people watching you, just think about you're standing in a room full of 10 people at Burger King waiting to order. That's 10 people. But imagine if they were all just staring at you waiting to order. That's a lot of people.
Yep.
Just
I
staring
like
at you,
attention.
by
I
the
can
way.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
The tension is high.
I mean, so just don't let the numbers beat you up neither. Because yes, the numbers matter. I'm never going to tell you, oh, ignore the numbers. Don't ignore the numbers because you can learn from that data if you want to improve. But pay attention to them, but don't let them consume how you like create your content. I feel like first and foremost, you should be trying to have fun. Have fun, because I mean, the more fun you're having, the more fun other people are having. Remember that, you know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So
I've during 2020, I have really, really grown to appreciate Twitch as my substitute for like Netflix. Like there are plenty of wonderful things on Netflix, but man, the joy of being able to pop into a chat, see some names I recognize in the text chat, plus the streamer who actually reacts when you talk to them, especially when they're a small streamer, it's awesome. I mean, there was one day, there was a Friday a few weeks ago where I don't remember who was playing what or even what I was playing, but I popped into a bunch of chats. I heard like 10 different people's voices that night, and talked to a whole bunch more in chat. And even though I was sitting in front of my computer the whole time, it really felt like I had hung out and seen, a lot of people.
Yeah, Twitch has been a blessing in disguise during COVID, like because it's like sometimes you need a personal connection, and Twitch can give you some semblance of that, because you can't talk with a person live as they're like doing something, but you're not actually like in the same space with them. I think I love that. Like that's a really nice way for us to, safely communicate with each other and hang out.
Right.
So I love that. But you asked about rating versus hosting. So I mean,
Yes.
the way I see, and this is me talking as the content creator, not as the Twitch employee. When I think of somebody rating someone, it's you taking your community to share the love with somebody else, to introduce your community to another person that they may not have been aware of. Your friends or somebody you guys wanted to go watch mutually and hang out together with them. Raids are more of a community thing. You take your community and we're going to this other community to say what's up to this other person. I love that. It's a lot of fun. It's basically just kind of, all right, I've had my fun. Let's go have fun with somebody else now. They usually the streamer gets up and they go to poop afterwards, but that's how that works. In hosting, so hosting is different. It's like hosting is what I see is like, all right, well, my chat wasn't super active, which sometimes it's like that, but I want to send the people who are going to look into my channel later on who might have missed the stream or were late to the stream, they'll still be able to watch somebody that I think is worth watching. But I also wanted to kind of like give more eyes to this person that I want to succeed. So I'll host them. I mean, I personally don't host very often. The only time I'm hosting folks is like, so say I am collaborating with some of my friends and they're streaming but I'm not, I'll host them. Or say I'm watching an event online and my community wants to hang out with me in my chat specifically, I'll host that channel so we can watch together in my space. Well, I shouldn't say my space, in our space, where we can just hang and talk out in our chat, but we're watching the same content. Like hosting is a whole different type of thing. It's like basically you're turning on a channel for your community to watch, either with or without you. If they wanted to, they can watch it in their space and still also enjoy that content. Is kind of how I see it. So I mean, it just depends on how you want to use hosting. I know some people only host instead of rating, but I love to raid folks because it's just me saying, hey, what's up? Here's all my people that we all wanted to come say hello. We love you. Boom. There you go. I mean, and it's always fun to, pump up those numbers for somebody else a little bit. It's always great. I love that. Like I'm gonna share the love that other people gave me with somebody else. So why not?
I just love raids because it's like, why don't we take this community and push it somewhere else? Like,
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my community and put it in this one.
Yeah, I gotta get back at it. It's been a while. We just got so busy with all this party invite stuff. That took my focus away from trying to get I basically reached affiliate, and then I was like, yeah, and then
I
fell
did
off.
it. I'm done.
I did it.
Achievement unlocked.
Yep.
Like it's over.
Yeah, you weren't going for a completionist run.
No.
Yep.
You have one Twitch.
Speed run. Yep.
Right. So speaking of Nerd Meat that we were talking about earlier, he had a question. What's been
I
your
can't answer these questions. No, I'm kidding.
What's been your biggest challenge as a creator?
Wow. Okay. That is a very difficult question. What has been my most difficult challenge as a creator? And this will sound real like, out there, but finding who I am as a creator has been the most difficult part. And that's because I am also okay with it consistently changing. And so that makes it like kind of like this target that I'm always chasing. Like in the distance, it's like I get close sometimes and I'm like, yeah, this is it. And I'm like, ooh, but I don't like that no more. So I do this. And so like, and then I'm just consistently chasing. But it's like, once I figured out the kind of content creator that I wanted to be, that made it easier for me to adjust my content when I have different ideas for different things. So it's just finding me as a person. Oh, kitty. And then and then finding what content I wanted to enjoy. That's literally been the hardest part. Literally. All cats.
And cat
Man.
butts. That's
Yeah.
always a
I have to
difficult
lock mine. I
situation.
have to lock Tia Dalma out of the room because she'll just crawl all everywhere, and I'm just like, this isn't
Oh.
this message I want.
This is my place to sit.
I will say that's been difficult for me figuring out what type of creator I want to be, because this show and Party Invite in general is like stemming from taking in a lot of this kind of content. So taking in a min-max, a kind of funny, giant bomb, Unlocked with Ryan McCaffrey. I used to listen to Unlocked and Beyond when I worked in construction years ago. So taking in those kind of things and being like, that seems like they're just having a blast. All they're doing is sitting there talking about video games all day. And that sounds like the greatest job ever. So wanting to do that and creating this thing, I have to be mindful that, hey, you make sure you're doing you and not regurgitating something, or, be knowledgeable, but don't be acting the same as somebody else.
Absolutely. It's okay to kind of like emulate content that you admire. That's fine. But don't let it just don't be like, yeah, I'm gonna do exactly what this other person does.
Right, exactly.
Because guess what? They're gonna go watch the other person because that's what that other person does best. That's them.
Right.
Exactly.
But yeah, this whole content creation is a journey. It is difficult to figure out what you want to do. But once you figure out like, oh yeah, this is what I want to be, and sometimes you're like, okay, I did that, but now I want to do something else. Be okay with that. Be willing to change and pivot and adapt to yourself. Like that's a really big part of this as well. So yeah, that was the hardest part, and still is the hardest part for me.
Remember who you are.
Basically.
Anybody else have some more questions?
Oh
I
yeah.
just wanted to like piggyback on to that answer. As far as like identity goes, people are concerned about streaming as like a brand as well. People always want to be like, I gotta get Fiverr.com, get my logo down, blah blah blah. People think of it as like a business as well as like a hobby. And so, what do you have to say to those kinds of people who are trying to make a brand and an identity? Like,
that is difficult.
It is, yes.
Yeah, but go ahead.
I think it should be very you know what I mean? It has to be authentic, it has to be honest. If people pick up even an ounce of someone else's identity and what you're trying to do, then they're going to be like, well, you're just a shell of this person, a shadow of this person. And so for people who are trying to build a brand as well as an identity, I think you have to put yourself into what you're trying to do. It's more than just being a persona. Like for me, people call me like the Black Princess Peach, and that's kind of the persona that I went with. But I'm still, that's why I have the crown and the earrings and everything. But
what? No.
But my content is coming from me. Like I'm not on there pretending to be Princess Peach. I'm on there being me, and then people have like correlated that like to that idea strongly because of I'm like me being who I am.
Right. And that's it. Like and that goes back to finding yourself, and that's how you brand your content. That's difficult. But one little thing I'll say is, so when you're building your brand, because you are your brand, take a look around, and if your brand if you go through a list of other people's like profile images and brand images, and yours looks just like 15 other people's, you might want to be like, oh, well,
look at you, people with bearded logos and glasses.
It's like, yes, that is me, but that is also that person. What can I do to make that more me, and not we? So, but yeah,
you just start a Twitch team. You just get a Twitch team together.
But it's complicated, but it can be done. But you just have to look for things that make you unique. Why are you different from everybody else? Everybody has that. We all have something that sets us apart. Be it an actual physical trait or something that we enjoy, something that you like, yeah, I mean, something that you're good at. Like we all have that. It's just you got to figure out what it is and apply that to your brand. My brand.
My brand.
Look at it with your special eyes. Yep.
Man, free advertising. Oh man.
I don't know what that is, so it's fine. I made that up just
honestly
now.
don't know what I've heard the commercial. But I don't know what it's advertising.
Yeah,
so
I made that up just now. Literally made it up just now. Don't worry.
All right.
Yep.
Send it.
I hate to pull us back to a really deep question, but we
No,
have
hit me with it.
a question from Cass on our Facebook page. Her
Mhm.
question is, "Who's your favorite My Hero Academia character, and why is it Toshinori?" Okay, I've never watched the show, but I told her I'd ask.
His face was just like so happy, and then all of a sudden, just
Yeah, nah.
Because you're
Foul.
making me pick. Okay, I don't like to pick.
it's
All
Mirko.
right.
It's Mirko.
Look, I love Mirko for a lot of reasons. Let me tell you. She got two. I love my boy All Might to death. That's my idol. That's my dad. But then there's also my son, who is Mirio. I love my son, but I also love my green son, Deku. And
my son.
this is difficult. So if I had to pick my overall favorite, I'd have to say Mount Lady. No, I'm kidding.
Tell you what, if you want another second to think, since I've never seen the show, tell me and other viewers like me why I should watch that anime.
Oh, My Hero Academia. So My Hero Academia. Let me ask a quick question for you. Do you like comic books or comics in general?
I think I like the idea of them more than I actually like them.
And that's okay. Do you like social commentary that includes people with powers that have the ability to change things?
Yeah.
Do you want to witness the story of somebody who went from having nothing but hope and dreams to having those dreams and being able to live them through?
I am here for this.
Yes.
Do you like
So-
Sky High the movie?
Yes. Did you like Sky High but anime? Then you're gonna like My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia has a very endearing main character. The world is ever growing and very alive, and it also tackles a lot of serious questions about what is a hero? Why are heroes heroes and why are villains villains? Where was the line drawn and who drew it? What makes you more of a hero or less than a hero? And if you are a person that did bad things, can you actually be a hero? There's a lot of stuff that when you pay attention in My Hero, just is really, really, really good. I love My Hero. My Hero is one of my favorite anime for that reason. It's just not just because they punch each other. No, they have serious consequences for things that they do and the people that they are and that they want to be, and they have dreams and goals that they want to reach. And yeah, I love that anime. It's really good, and I think that everybody should watch it.
Okay.
Dub or sub. I don't care which way you watch it. Just watch it. So yeah, but favorite character, I'm gonna have to go with All Might. He's the symbol of peace. That's my boy. It really is. He basically ushered in an entire era of peace that did not exist before him. There was no
That's
crime.
pretty cool.
Yeah, come on now. Yeah, I'll take it. So yeah, that was hard. Thanks. Nah.
Well, yeah, I'm glad we could have an anime question because, I don't watch a lot of anime. I just don't watch that
Same.
much TV or that
I can
many
change
shows
that.
anyway.
Got some recommendations.
I am
Yeah.
impressionable, so I think my girlfriend's watched a lot of stuff. She likes Sword Art, which I only watched the
okay.
first season on. I think she's almost done with the whole show.
That's okay. You watch the
Uh,
best part. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
You should tell her to check out Log Horizon.
Yes, Log Horizon's good. Excel World's good. I mean, there's a lot of good.
Dot Hack is pretty good.
The,
Dot Hack is
the
fantastic.
last
Yes.
anime type thing that I watched that I actually enjoyed was, I think it's called Harlock the Space Pirate on Netflix. It's like a CGI anime.
Oh yeah.
One of those Netflix originals.
It was good. I really liked it.
I mean, Netflix does have some stuff. If you want to just try some stuff, Netflix has plenty of stuff you can just try and turn off if you don't like it. So,
That's the
I
best
did
part
watch
about
the first season of Castlevania, and I
Oof,
There you go.
thoroughly
Uh,
enjoyed that.
because it's very well done. That's
It is
very
very well
good.
done. Bowser and I are actually just
Mm.
watching that right now.
It's so good. Like at first I was like, I love Castlevania, but I'll watch that later on. Then I started watching. I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
great. These
I'm
these
interested in this.
people- yeah, I was like, these are people who actually have looked into the lore of the games and made a TV show out of it, and it's so cool. I'm like, I love Castlevania. This is great.
Dude,
So-
And the
TV
choreography
shows,
for the fights and stuff was like really top notch.
Sick.
So good.
Their
Man.
animation is so good for Western animation. It's incredible. Like
Yeah.
it's so good. So
I have said so many times, and I will keep championing this idea that I think the best way to tell other mediums stories is a long form TV show. So like hour-long ish episodes.
Yeah.
You got a video game and you want to turn it into a movie? Don't make a
yep,
TV
don't
show.
do it. Do a TV show. You're right.
You got
Mhm.
you got a book? You want to turn it into a movie? Don't
Don't.
make it a TV show.
Mhm.
Like TV shows absolutely tell the best stories for
Give
other
your
mediums.
TV show a movie budget and watch magic happen.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I'm looking forward to The Last of Us turning into a
I
show,
am too.
and not a movie,
Yep.
because I really think they might do it justice.
I also
Um,
feel like Metal Gear would be an incredible TV show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like please, do that.
I would kill for that. Yeah.
That would be so good.
I don't
It'd
know
be
that
so
Konami
good.
would ever do that.
Pachinko
Do you-
machines.
Yeah, Pachinko Machine movie, and then we'll
Everything
talk.
into those machines.
Yeah, they have pachinko machines for Metal Gear. Like what the heck? Okay. Yeah.
the question there really is: do you think love can bloom in a TV show?
I mean, I love Yennefer from The Witcher, so I think it's possible. So
Perfect.
it's true.
Thomas, you want to go ahead and give us our community spotlight of this week?
Oh golly, yes I do. I have it pulled up right now. Why would you ask? So I've got it right here. Okay, our community spotlight is Ray.
This seems like it was rigged.
Pachinko.
Yes.
Bringing it all
So
back.
I tell you what, I will say real quick, we just started doing the community spotlight in addition to the podcast. I mean, this is our 5th episode, I believe.
Hey.
That's right. Yep.
So now our podcast releases on Mondays. So on Mondays we will do our community spotlight. It'll be every week. It'll be either somebody cool we've had on the show, like Ray. It'll be somebody who is in our community already, and my cat I think is about to start doing the thing she does right on time. So you're gonna hear her. She's gonna be our community spotlight next week. But if you're hearing this and you want to be part of the community spotlight, send one of our party leaders a DM on any platform, and we'll hook you up. But this time it's Ray, so let's say some information. Ray, do you want me to read this beautiful paragraph I have pulled up right here?
Yep.
Okay. And put on my reading glasses here. This says, I am Ray Apollo,
That's me.
and gaming has been a part of my life for as long as I remember. The internet has given me several spaces to engage with other folks that love the same things as me, and I've met so many new friends that way. I've been able to raise thousands of dollars for charity with gaming, and all while spreading joy along the way. I'm easily found everywhere online as Ray Apollo. The most important places are on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube.
Wow.
Boom.
I really had you read it because I was like, did it actually sound good? Yeah, that sounds
It
pretty
did
good.
sound pretty good. I read it.
That was
too.
easy to read. Yeah, that was easy to
Congrats.
read. So let's see. So we send you a bunch of questions and have you pick a total of 10 of these. So let's go through the ones you chose. So we've got.
I hope I picked enough.
Oh, you did great.
Yeah, it was
So
great.
what is your first console? And you got the NES. And if
Yep.
you want to answer these instead of me reading, I'm cool.
I mean,
either way.
I can also, read through what I wrote. So yeah, I think that works.
Well, sure. I'll ask you the question. I mean, normally our community spotlight isn't on the show. Well, I say normally. This is literally our second one.
It is what it is.
So I'll finish this one and let you answer the second one. So you answered the NES. I remember an Atari in the basement that I couldn't get working.
Yeah, man.
Wah, wah.
I tried so hard to get that Atari to work. I wanted it to work so bad, but I'm pretty sure the board was fried because it never worked. I tried for I don't know how long. It feels like forever to get that thing to work. And it just didn't work. So I wish that would have been nice. So nope.
Our next one is there a video game that made you fall in love with games?
So a lot. a lot of video games. And like I wrote, every year I find a game that reminds me why I love video games. Like every year I try, like there's always one, at least I think, that I'm like, man, this is why I love video games. But I feel like the very first one was Pokemon Red. I got a Game Boy and Pokemon for Christmas, and I was like, yo, video games are lit. Like, we had it at ES, and I was like, these are cool, but I was like, oh no, these are amazing. I think this is my life now. And yep, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But I think most recently, probably Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yeah.
Did that for me.
That's in that PSN write-up. Check that out.
Yeah.
Who was your starter that you chose in Pokemon Red?
Charmander.
Okay.
Like
on,
every
how do-
time.
How do I unfollow someone in real life?
Oh no! I was a Charmander kid. I couldn't help it. I love that little fire.
Bulbasaur second or third? That's the
Fire
question.
lizard, and I mean, oh, this is cool. This is convenient. It's sitting right here, right next to me. Oh,
Hey.
Nice.
That's
So-
cool.
But no, I also loved. I loved all of them. But if I had to rank them, it would go Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur. So,
My heart.
oh no. Look, I'm not saying Bulbasaur is bad. He's just the third best. Yeah.
What's the next question?
The next
Breaking
question,
my-
do you have a favorite game soundtrack?
Yes, I bought the Divinity Original Sin 2 soundtrack on vinyl, and it's incredible. I
Nice,
listen to
really
it
good.
once a week because it's so good. Fun fact, I tried to buy the Spider-Man PS4 vinyl because that soundtrack is also amazing, but they sent me the Castlevania soundtrack instead, and I was like,
What?
how do you even confuse these? And so I kept the Castlevania because I'm like, oh well, I didn't get my Spider-Man, so I guess I'll keep this. At least it was a video game. Oh, but actually, no, before that, so there's a whole thing that happened. So yeah, I ordered the Spider-Man vinyl, and the first thing that showed up was like literally a vinyl to play for your plants. It's legitimately a thing. It was like music for plants, and I'm like, what the fuck? How? And so I laughed about it. Then I sent it back, and I'm like, okay, surely they'll get it right this time. And then Castlevania showed up, and I gave up. I was like, I don't even care. Like, I guess I'm never going to get this. So.
I'm buddies with the guys from Warbly Jets, who have the title song. When you jump out the window of Spider-Man, that's their track that's playing. I'll see if they have any hookups on any of that and holler at you.
I mean, my dollars are good, so you let me know.
Let's see. Do you have any favorite video game characters?
Tifa, and you know why.
Okay.
All right.
More about why.
If you could if you could have one remake, remaster, or re-release that everyone should play, what would it be?
I wrote and deleted this answer 6 times. Because I had so many games, but I ultimately landed on Golden Sun. Golden Sun
Nice.
needs to be remade, remastered,
Yes.
all of it. Give me those. We deserve those. Those are a very good story. But before that one, I had Metroid Prime. Nintendo,
Yeah.
please, bro.
Yeah,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
here for that. Big time.
Nintendo, please. Please. Okay.
And
I
let's
know
have
you
like a
listen.
Prime Hunters multiplayer in it too, please.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Yes.
I would love that. Like, you could do it, and it'd do so well. So just do it. Just do it, please.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm already getting Bayonetta, so that's fine.
Whenever that comes out.
Whenever that comes out. Yep.
So we got 5 more quick ones here. So it's an either/or situation. Our first one is single player or multiplayer.
Single player. I'm a lord. One of my nicknames is the Lord Whore. I love story. So single player all the
Nice.
way.
Boom. All right. Mouse and keyboard or controller?
Controllers. Controllers just feel. I can't hold a keyboard in my hand like I can hold a controller. What kind of dummy do I look like holding a keyboard? Nope.
I am so with you there. I love me some controllers.
Nerds.
Uh,
I love my keyboard. Don't worry. It's just like controllers more.
You already know the comments.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Canceled so hard.
Yep, so hard. Whoops.
What difficulty do you play on?
So I play on what's known as normal, but I also consider the one right under baby ass baby mode, which is fine. It's okay to play on baby ass baby mode. I'm never mad at anybody who does that. You play games how you enjoy it, but I'm a normal kind of guy. I think the only game I played on a hard mode or the hardest mode was Jedi Fallen Order, which I kind of regretted, but like I beat it, so it was all good.
That seems like a pretty tough
That's a
game.
tough one, yeah.
It was. I don't know why I was like, this is the game where I'm going to challenge myself, and I put it on the harder mode, and I was like, oof, okay, but I had fun sometimes. And I was like, when I finished, I was like, this is why I play games in normal, because I like to have fun when I play video games.
Yeah. I don't, and my girlfriend hates it.
Like real life is challenging enough. This is always on hard mode, so I'm like, I'll play video games on normal.
Word.
It'll be all right. Yeah.
All right, I think anybody can guess the answer to this question. Go in loud or stealthy?
Look, we get everything. We all know that when I'm playing those games, it starts out with the good intent. My heart's in the right place for it to be stealthy, but it's loud. Yep. It's like Ray. I remember a very specific moment in Metal Gear Solid 5, and where you can play multiplayer. And my friend was like, "All right, Ray, we're going to this stealth mission." And I was like, "Okay, bet." And he's like, "Ray, why do you have a rocket launcher?"
They gave it to me.
And why would I bring anything else? I'm prepared for anything. Literally anything. I'm prepared. Tank prepared.
Yep.
Person prepared. I'm ready. So that's why.
I love that multiplayer. It's so good.
It was fun.
And then our last one here is damage, tank, or healer.
I'm a tank. I like to take damage for my friends and let them help me fight stuff. So Final Fantasy 14, I'm the tank. I will hold all the aggro. I will keep all the bad things away from you so you can do your job.
Boom. That sounds like you with Twitch. You're just like, look, let me shield you.
I try. I
From the
really do.
dangers.
I try. I really try. I will be your shield. Yes.
Well, those are our questions. Thank you for.
You're welcome. Thank you. Those are great questions, by the way.
Yeah.
I love those.
Well, thank you. We have fun. We're gonna come up with even dumber questions in the future, and this might be totally off the rails from a year from now, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, you have to have me back for episode 50 then. Deal.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Set.
So it is writ.
That's going to do it for this episode of Party Invite. Ray, thank you so much for coming on. This has been excellent.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you told the folks that I double booked myself the first time like an idiot, and so that's why I couldn't be here earlier than now.
I didn't tell them that, but you just did. So
I did. Yeah. So that was my fault. It was like all of a sudden people were like, "Ray, we want you to do stuff," and I was like, okay. And then yep. So, but no, I'm really glad that I could be here for this because this is awesome. You guys are fantastic. So thank you for having me.
Thank
Seriously,
you.
thanks for
Thank you,
thinking of
Very
me.
good having you.
I was like, yeah, I want to be on a KC podcast. Why wouldn't I be?
So one last replug. I know we mentioned at the top of the show that you work at Twitch.
Yep.
You are community manager for Twitch KC, the Kansas City Community Meetup.
That's right.
I know you also do the podcast I listened to today, which is Everything, Ranked.
Yes.
I really enjoy that show.
Well, listen to some good shows. Yes, that literally is what the network's called, some good shows. And Everything Ranked is one of my favorite things I've ever done with a group of people. It's basically we basically day drink and we write out one of our why one thing that we bring to the table is better than whatever somebody else brings. And it's always great. So one episode we had like key changes, anime, and I think naps. And yeah, it's a wild show. You should absolutely listen to it.
I'm subbing right now.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get on there and tell you why Bulbasaur's better than Charmander, but that's another time.
Right.
I mean, you can be wrong. It's fine. Well, I guess it's the last time Ray's on this show. All right. Woo, yeah.
Yeah, please go follow us over at Party Invite on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our Party Invite show, and make sure you go check us out on Patreon and check out the website. We're doing more reviews, more blog writing. Partyinvite.games. Click on the menu and head over to the blog section and check it out. Give us some feedback. Let us know how we're doing. Thank you all so much for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.